Hi friends, I am Ashraf Ali and today we will discuss about layout, what is role of layout in latex, and we will explain it in briefly. Friends, please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Layout commands for controlling the general page layout. One column. Use one column layout. Two column, use two column layout. Flush bottom, make all text pages the same height. Rigid bottom, allow the text pages of different height. Page layout parameters: head height, footscape, floats, figures, tables, etc. One column. The one column declaration starts a new page, produces a single column output. If the document is given the class option one column, then this is the default behavior. See document class option, and we will check it in document class options on latex. Go to wizard menu and quick start, and these are one column, two column, title page, etc. Here cancel it, and we will go to the two column. Synopsis: two column curve radius prelim, one column text. The two column declaration starts a new page and produces two column output. If the document is given the class option two column, then this is the default. See document class option. We have already checked, we have already saw in document class option. If the optional premium one column text argument is present, it is typed in one column mode before the two column type setting starts. These parameters control the type setting in two column output. Column SIP. The distance between columns default is 35 pt. Change it with a command such as set length backslash set length curly brackets backslash column SIP bracket curly bracket and curly bracket start 40 pt 40 point. You must change it before the two column environment starts in the primble good place. Column SIP rule. The width of rule between columns. The rule appears halfway between the two columns. The default is 0 pt, meaning that there is no rule. Change it with a command such as backslash set length curly brackets backslash column SIP rule curly brackets and curly bracket start 0.4 point. Before the two column environment starts, column width width. The width of a column in one column mode, this is equal to text width. In two column mode, by default latex sets the width of each of two columns to be half of text width minus column SIP. In a two column document, the started environments table star and figure star are two columns wide, whereas the unstarred environments table and figure take up only one column. Latex places starred starred. Latex places starred floats at the top of page. The following parameters control float behavior of two column output: backslash dbl top fraction, the maximum fraction at the top of a two column page that may be occupied by two column wide floats. The default is 0.7, meaning that the height of a table star or figure star environment must be not exceed 0.7 backslash text height. If the height of your starred float environment exceeds this, then you can take one of the following actions to prevent it from floating all the way to the back of the document. use it Use the square bracket TP location specifier to tell Latex to try to put the bulky float on a page by itself as well as at the top of a page. Use the T naught location specifier to override the effect of backslash tibial top fraction for this particular float. Increase the value of tibial top fraction to suitably large number to avoid the going to float pages, so on. You can redefine it from instance with renew command curly bracket start and backslash dbl top fraction curly bracket end curly bracket start 0.9 dbl float page fraction. And we'll discuss about dbl float page fraction. For a float page of two column wide floats, this is the minimum fraction that must be occupied by floats, limiting the amount of blank space. Latex default is 0.5. Change it with the backslash renew command backslash dbl float step real float sip on a float page of two column wide floats. This length is the distance. 1 minute. This length is the distance between the floats at the both of the top and bottom of the page. The default is 12 pt plus 2 pt minus 2 pt for a document set at 10 pt or 11 pt, 14 pt plus 2 pt minus 4 pt for a document set at 12 pt. And backslash dbl text floats sip. This is length is the distance between a multi column float at the top at the top at the top or bottom of a page and the main text. The default is 20 pt plus 2 pt minus 4 pt dbl backslash dbl top number. On a float page of two column wide floats, this counter gives the maximum number of floats allowed at the top of the page. The example shows that the use of the optional argument of two column to create a title that spans the two column article. Document class two column article new command other mark 1 curly brackets are text superscript number of 1 begin document two column square brackets curly brackets percentage sign inside the this optional argument goes one column text centering large. The title double backslash 1.5 em square brackets and the large other one and backslash other mark of 1 other 2 other mark of 2 other 3 other mark of 1 and square brackets 1 em. Normalize begin tabular bracket start p or bracket start 0.2 text width at and bracket start high space 2 em p of bracket start 0.2 text width brackets end. Other mark of 1 department 1, other mark of 2 department 2, school 1 school 2, and tabular and double backslash square brackets 3m percentage space below the title page, and percentage is also it's also called comments in latex, and document flush bottom. We will discuss about flush bottom. The flush bottom command can go at a point in the document body. It makes all letter pages the same height, stretching the vertical space where necessary to fill out the page. If text cannot satisfactorily stretch this vertical space in a page, then you get a message like under full backslash vbox barness 10,000 has occurred while output is active. You can change to the ragged bottom. Alternatively, you can try to adjust the text height to be compatible, or you can add some vertical stretch glue between lines or between paragraph, as in backslash set length bracket start backslash par skip bracket and bracket start 0 plus 0.1 ex. In a final editing the stage, you can adjust the height of individual pages. See enlarge this page. This is the default only if you select the two-side document class option. See document class option. Ragged bottom. The ragged bottom command can go at any point in the document body. It makes all letter pages the natural height of the material on the page. No rubber lengths will be stretched. Thus, in a two-sided document, at the facing pages may be different heights. See also flush bottom above. This is the default unless you select the two-side document class option. See document class options page layout parameters. Column shape rule. Column width. The distance between the two columns, the width of a rule between the columns and the width of columns when the document class option do column is in effect. See document class option. See two column. Backslash head height. Height of the box that contains the running head. The default is in the article report book class is 12 pt at all types sizes. Head shape. Vertical distance between the bottom of the letter line and the top of the main text. The default in the article report class is 25 pt. In the book class, the default is if the document is set at 10 pt, then it is 0.25 inch, and at 11 pt and 12 pt it is 0.275 inch. Foot skip. Distance from the baseline of the last line of the text to the baseline of the page footer. The default in the article and report class is 30 pt. In the book class, the default is when the type size is 10 pt, the default is 0.35 inch, while at 11 pt it is 0.3 inch, and at 12 pt it is in 30 point. Line width. Width of the current line the decreased for each nested list. That is, the nominal value for line width is equal to text width. For each nested list, the line width is decreased by the sum of list left margin and right margin, and margin per push. Margin shape margin per width. The minimum vertical space between two marginal nodes, the horizontal space between the text body and the marginal nodes, and the horizontal width of the nodes. Normally, marginal nodes appear on the outside of the page, but the declaration reverse margin par change the at, and normal margin par change it back. The default for margin par push in both book and article classes are 7pt if the document class is set at 12pt, and 5pt if the document is set at 11pt or 10pt. For margin zip, the in article class the default is 10pt ex, ex, except if the document is set at 10pt in two column mode where the default is 11pt. For margin zip in the book class the default is 10pt in two column mode and 7pt in one column mode. For margin path width in both book and the article classes. In two column mode, the default is 60% of the paper width and text width, while in one column mode it is 50% of the distance. Outside margin, even side margin. The outside margin is the extra distance between the left side of the page and the text left margin. On odd numbered pages when the column class document class option to side is chosen, and on all pages when on one side is different effect, when two side is in effect. On even numbered pages the extra distance on the left is even side margin. Latex default is that outside margin is 40% of the difference between paper width and text width, and even side margin is the remainder. Paper height. The height of the paper disconnect from the height of the parent area. It is normally set with a document class option, as in document class A4 paper article. See document class option paper width. The width of the paper, the width of the the width of the paper as distinct from the width of the print area. It is normally set with the document class option, as in document class and A4 paper article. Text height. The normal vertical height of the page if the document is set at normal type size of 10pt, then for an article or report the default is 43 baseline skip, while for a book it is 41 baseline skip. At a type size of 11pt the default is 38 baseline skip for all document classes. At 12pt is 36 baseline skip for all classes. Text width. The full horizontal width of the entire page body for an article or report document the default is 345 point. When the chosen type size is 10pt the default is 360 point at 11pt, and it is 390 point at 12pt. For a book document the default is 4.5 inch at a type size of 10pt and in 5 inch at 11pt or 12pt. In multi-column output text width means the width of the entire page body, while column width is the width of the one column. C 2 column. In list text width remains the width of the entire page body, and column width the width of the entire column, while line width may decrease for nested list. Inside a mini page, see mini page or parabox, see parabox, all the width related parameters are set to the specified width and revert to their normal values at the end of the mini page or parabox. This entry is included for completeness. Backslash h size is the text primitive parameter used when text is broken into lines. It should not be used in normal latex documents. Top margin space between the top of the text page 1 inch from the top of the paper by default and the top of the header. The value is computed based on the many other parameters. Para paper height minus 2 inch minus head height minus head shape minus text height minus foot skip and then divided by 2 top skip. Minimum distance between the top of the page body and the baseline of the first line of text. For the standard classes the default is the same as the font size, e.g. 10 pt at a type of 10 pt at the type size of 10 pt. Floats some typographic elements such as figures and tables cannot be broken across pages. They must be typed outside of the normal flow of the text. For instance, floating to the top of the letter page. Latex can have a number of different classes of floating material. The default is the two classes figure C figure and table C table, but you can create a new class where the package float with any one float class. Latex will always respect to the other, so that the first figure in a document source must be typed before the second figure. However, Latex may makes the class so it can happen that while the first table appears in the source before the first figure, it appears in the output after it. The placement of floats is subject to parameters given below that limit the number of floats that can appear at the top of page and the bottom, etc. If so many floats are coded up that the limits prevent them all from fitting on a page, then Latex places what it can and differs the rest to the next page. In this way, floats may be typed from their place in the source. In particular, a float that is begun can migrate to the end of the document, but then because all floats in a class must appear in sequential order, every subsequent float in that class also appears at the end. In addition to changing the parameters for each float, you cannot tweak where the float placement algorithm tries to place it by using the placement argument. The possible values are a sequence of the letters below. The default for both figure and table and both article and book classes is top. T. Top at the top of the text. B. Bottom at the bottom of the text page. However, B is not allowed for full width floats figure with double column. H. Here at the position in the text where the figure environment appears. However, H is not allowed by itself, and T is automatically added to absolutely force a float to appear. Here you can use package float and use the H specifier which it defines. P. Page of floats on a spread float page which 1 minute wait please. Use package float and use the H specifier which it defines. P. Page floats on spread float page, which is a page containing no text, only floats. Use in addition to one of the above for Used in addition to one of the above for this float only. Latex ignores the restrictions on both the number of the floats that can be appeared and the relative amounts of float and non-float text on the page. To prevent Latex from moving floats to the end of the document or chapter, you can use a clear page command to start a new page and insert all pending floats. If a page break is undesirable, then you can use the after page after page package and use after page clear page. This will be wait until the current page is finished and then flush the outstanding the floats. Latex can typecast float before where it appears in the source, although on the same output page. If there is a t specifier in the placement parameter, if this is not desired, and deleting the t is not acceptable as it keeps the float from being placed at the top of the next page, then you can prevent it by either using the filter package or using the command suppress floats of t, which causes floats for the top position on the page of the moved next. Parameters relating to the fractions of the pages occupied by floating and non-floating text, change them with renew command parameter decimal between 0 and 1 bottom fraction. The maximum fraction of the page allowed to be occupied by floats at the bottom default is 3 float page fraction. The minimum fraction of the float page that must be occupied by floats default is 5. Text fraction. Minimum fraction of the page that must be text. It floats take up too much space to preserve this much text. Floats will be moved to a different page. The default is 2. Top fraction. Maximum fraction at the top of the page that may be occupied before floats. Default 7 parameters relating to the vertical space around the floats, change them with this set length parameter length expression float shape. Space between floats at the top of the button and or bottom of the page default is 12 pt plus 2 pt minus 2 pt. In text shape, space above and below a float in the middle of the main text default 12 pt plus 2 pt minus 2 pt for 10 points and 11 point documents 14 pt plus 4 pt minus 4 pt for 12 points document. Text float shape, space between this last first float at the top bottom of a page default is 20 pt plus 2 pt minus 4 pt. Counters relating to the number of the floats on a page, change them with the set counters ctr name and natural numbers. Bottom number. Maximum number of the floats that can appear at the bottom of the text page default 1. dbl top number. Maximum number of the full size floats that can be appeared at the top of the 2 column page default is 2. Top number. Maximum number of the floats that can appear at the top of the text page default is 2. Total number. Maximum number of the floats that can be appeared on the text page default is 3. Now this video is ended. Friends, thanks for listening me and please subscribe my channel. Have a good day.